Totally fine, guys. Now, we're sitting on the line, crisscross applesauce. Excellent. Alright, we're good. Thank you, sir. Alright, so, behind you, you will find our practice instruments. So first, we're going to work on some skills before we get out our real instruments. So, pay close attention. We can get these out even faster. Alright, so we have, you will notice on our sheet, our biggest note. See the biggest bar. What note is that? C. So we got the names of all our notes written on there, and they're all letters, and they're all right in order of the alphabet. That biggest note, it's the biggest one on here. Do you think, what kind of sound would it make? Would it make a low sound or a high sound?
Low. High.
You think the biggest one would make a high sound?
Yeah.
So think about a big drum, and then there's a little drum. What would the big one sound like compared to the little one? Would it be higher or lower?
High.
Low, big drum. So this highest, or this shortest note, the smallest C we have at the very top, do you think that would be higher or lower than that other big C?
Higher.
Higher, because it's smaller. So
It's by the air pressing down on it.
air pressing down on it and it vibrates.
When it vibrates go more, and when it shakes, the longer it shakes, it's like making more sound. Like a guitar.
Very good, like a guitar. If you have a long string, if you don't press anything down, it makes a low sound, and if you put your hand on there and shorten that string, it'll make a higher sound. If you've ever played around on a guitar. So, I'd like everyone, we're going to play our practice instruments. You will see I have circled C and F. That lowest C and the F right above it. Go ahead and put your pointer fingers right on those notes. So these are going to be the first notes we're playing. And we're going to play them right along with Little bunny foo foo hopping through the forest. I'm going to stop there. We'll show you a couple things about how to hold these mallets when we get them, once we get them. So I have our drum technique checklist up here. This kind of goes with all percussion instruments, all things you're going to hit, a lot of them with sticks. This is how you hold the sticks and hit it correctly. So we're going to hold the sticks between our thumb and our first finger. We're going to wrap the rest of our fingers around the stick. We're not going to hold them really tight. We're just wrapping them around. And we're going to face the top of our hands towards the ceiling, like this. And then we're going to make our sticks like a pizza slice. It's like a little slice of pizza, pizza sticks. And then, when we hit it, we're not going to bend our elbows, come way above our head. We don't want to hit it like Animal from the Muppets. Everybody seen the Muppets?
Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah.
I saw it last night.
He goes crazy. We're not going to go crazy. We're going to keep it down here, and we're just going to bend our wrists like this. And when you hit it, we want it to bounce like a basketball. So if you think, like if you bounce a basketball on the ground, it doesn't stick to the ground and then come back up, right? It just bounces and comes right back up. That's exactly what these do. It's like sticking the basketball to the ground. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
It's like gums on the floor.
It's like gums on the floor. We don't want any gum on the floor. It's gross.
Yeah.
You bounce it right off.
If you step on the gum and it's really, really old and you don't notice it, you get stuck and you'll never move again.
Well, let's not do that. So, when we're putting our mallets in our hands, we can always look up at this checklist and know what we're supposed to do. Alright, our next part, when we're scooping up the field mice, here's what we're going to do. I'd like you to put your pointer finger on our lowest note. Find the lowest note. Let me see the lowest note. The one that will make the lowest sound. So think about it. There, we've got big notes, we've got small notes. Which one is going to make a low sound? The biggest one or the smallest The last one, the big one or the small one? The small one. So think of you got a big drum and then a little tiny drum. Which one will make a low sound compared to a high sound? Right. So you think the big drum or that little drum would make? The big one would make a big or a lower sound, right? Boom, boom, boom. Not beep, beep, beep. Right? So whenever you just think of giant drums compared to a tiny one, that big one is going to make a lower sound. So everyone point to the lowest note. The lowest note. Very good, very good. We're all on that big note, and we know it's the lowest because it's the biggest. All right, scooping up the field mice, we're going to drag our finger up to the top. Just drag them across all those notes. Drag it from the lowest to the highest because we're scooping them up. Very good. And then when we bop these field mice on the head, here's what we're going to do. We're going to just hit the floor and bopping them on the head. Exactly. So here's how it's going to look. I'd like you to watch me. I'm going to do it once by myself. So I'm on my C and F. I'm looking very carefully so I hit all the right notes. It's going to go, little bunny foo foo, hopping through the forest, scooping up the field mice and bopping them on the head. Think we can do it all together? Yes. Let's do it with our fingers. So we got C and F. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Little bunny foo foo, hopping through the forest, scooping up the field mice and bopping them on the head. Very good. Yeah, if you need to hold that down so we don't let it fly away. So when we drag it across, here's the thing. We only scoop one field mouse. So we only drag it across one time. It's going to make a cool sound, and you're going to want to keep dragging it across just one time. How many times are we going to drag it across?
One.
How many field mice are we going to scoop up?
One.
Thank you very much. But when we bop them on the head, bopping them on the head, how many times do we bop?
3.
3 times. Bopping them on the head. Very good. Next thing we have, the fairy princess coming down, right? So put your finger on the highest note. To the highest note. So think about that big drum and that small drum. Very good, very good. So we're all on that small note because a small drum would make a really high sound. Exactly. So we're on that high note and we're going to drag it all the way to the bottom.